Hey everyone, Laura here. So it's been put on my heart lately that you're afraid to be who you are. Why is that? Because society has trained us to believe that we're supposed to put on this plastic face where we pretend that everything is all sunshine and butterflies all the time in our life, that nothing ever goes wrong, and that we don't have struggles. But the truth of the matter is that we're human and that everybody has struggles. And I think that it's time that we be open and honest with one another so that we can support each other rather than tear each other down. So I'm going to go first and share one of my deepest struggles in my life in the hopes that it will encourage you to do the same. I was born with a genetic disease called cystic fibrosis, or CF for short. It affects the lungs and digestive system mainly, causing thick, sticky mucus to be produced in my body that clogs my airways and also my pancreas, which makes it difficult for me to digest. So every day I do breathing treatments where I take a nebulized medication that helps break up the mucus and one that is actually technically salt water that will move it along so that I can expel it. I do airway clearance so that I can get the mucus up and out so that I can breathe. Um, Breathing's hard for me most of the time. Um, Sometimes when I'm not feeling well, it's hard to go up a flight of stairs. And the best way that I can describe it is it's like breathing through a straw, which is hard to do. Also, um, how I feel on a daily basis is comparable to having bronchitis. I have a chronic cough, and sometimes it's productive, and sometimes it's not. Um, and of course, I don't think we need to go into detail about the digestive part, but that can be challenging as well. Additionally, I take several different medications just to maintain my health. And when I do get sick, it's 10 times worse. And I'm actually just recovering from a pneumonia. It was 2 weeks in the hospital, and I did a week of home IVs. And I basically haven't slept in 3 weeks. So that's a normal, well, I shouldn't say normal course for a CF. Um, they call it exacerbation, but it's just a fancy term for being sick. So pneumonia definitely hits me a lot harder than everybody else. And a normal um, way that they kind of keep CF under wraps at this point is called a tune-up, which is the hospital stay, where they do IV antibiotics and airway clearance 4 times a day. My IV antibiotics are every 8 hours, lasting for 3 to 4 hours at a time. So I think you can do the math about how many hours I actually get to sleep. It's usually taking a nap here and there, but always interrupted sleep. So it's hard to get back onto a normal sleeping schedule, plus catch up on the sleep that I lost. Um, Additionally, at some point, I may need a lung transplant because of the effect that the disease has on my lungs. Um, so that's just a little background information about my struggle with cystic fibrosis. And the reason why I'm sharing this today is because I think that it's time to stop suffering in silence. I know that society teaches us that we're supposed to keep this stuff silent. And it's because we're afraid of judgment from other people, or we don't know how people will perceive us, or we think that it's out of the norm for this stuff to be a part of us or a part of our lives. And we kind of carry this sense of shame about it. And my goal is to break that down, because I don't think that anyone should suffer in silence. I think that instead of being ashamed of what we struggle with, we should celebrate how we get through those struggles and share with others the tools that we use so that others know that they're not alone and that they can do this too. And I really want to encourage you to tell your story. And by doing so, it tells other people that it's okay. It's okay to struggle. It's okay to not be okay. And we really need to start celebrating who we are and begin supporting each other in our struggles so that we can normalize them and stop having the stigma around things that aren't supposed to be talked about according to society, when in fact everyone has a struggle in their life. I don't care who you are, someone is struggling with something. And I'm tired of hiding mine. It's been really hard. Um, Growing up and feeling ashamed of this part of me. Something that was beyond my control. And feeling like if people knew the truth, then they would treat me differently, or they wouldn't want to be around me. And that mentality needs to stop. Because I know that you've had days like that too. And maybe it comes every day. Maybe it comes once a month, once a year. However often, it shouldn't be happening. We shouldn't run and hide when we have a problem or we have something we're struggling with. We should be able to run to people for support and encouragement and be comfortable in who we are and celebrate who we are and love ourselves as we are and allow others to do the same. Because by me sharing my story with you, I hope that you see that it's okay for you to share yours too. And that it's time to bring it into the light. It's time for us to support one another and celebrate how far we've come and every victory that we've had. So My prayer for you is that you can see the beauty in your story and know that God doesn't make mistakes. He created you exactly as you're meant to be. And I hope that by sharing my story with you today, you're encouraged to share yours too. And that I'll be right here waiting to encourage you for the next step in your journey and hopefully spreading the message that it's okay to share your struggles too. So I can't wait to hear from you. Thanks so much for listening. Take care.